Back at Ryoji's house, he can be seen talking to something and giving it instructions that it shouldn't move suddenly. It was a robot. It suddenly moved with hit his head. Ryoji complained about why it moved. The robot said that it was their promise with each other. Ryoji asked who would make such promise, but he quickly realized that it was him. The robot said that its body is lighter than before. And Ryoji explained that if its body was heavy, then the floor of his house would break. He also reminded the robot to never turn off the weight reduction device. The robot's name was Proto-1. Ryoji explained that he already defeated the Demon King and he is back in his world. He added that dungeons have also appeared in his world and the resources have died out, so he needed to farm them inside the dungeon. He also said that many adventurers have fallen victim to the fake dungeon information walkthrough on the internet. So, he wanted to make a correct walkthrough and erase the fake dungeon walkthrough, because he won't be able to watch anime if the civilization goes backwards. Proto-1 asked what it should do, and added that, "Are they hunting monsters in the dungeon?" Ryoji replied back saying that Proto-1's job is to be an editor for his videos, and he added that he can't take Proto-1 inside the dungeon. Proto-1 asked if it's not useful inside the dungeon. Ryoji replied that if it was just the shallow layer of the dungeon, Proto-1's strength would be unrivaled. This made Proto-1 happy, but Ryoji explained that the reason he can't take Proto-1 was because no one in this world knows how to make a golem, and it would be troublesome if someone learns about Proto-1. Proto-1 was sad, but Ryoji didn't budge because he would be too sad if Proto-1 gets broken. He then showed Proto-1 a video he edited so it can be used as a reference for Proto-1 when editing. Proto-1 asked how to edit the videos. Ryoji replied that it's on the internet, and he asked Proto-1 if it can use the computer. Proto-1 replied back asking, "What is a computer? Is it the same as a specialized golem?" Ryoji explained the basics of the computer. Then suddenly, Ryoji remembered something and told Proto-1 that it shouldn't open the folder named OTKR. Proto-1 promised to never open the folder, but it was the first thing Proto-1 did. Ryoji was surprised, so out of panic, he immediately shut Proto-1 down. Few minutes later, Proto-1 woke up again. Proto-1 asked why did it suddenly pass out. Ryoji replied that Proto-1 shouldn't worry. He added he teleported in Akiba and bought a laptop. The data was also transferred, so Proto-1 can use the laptop for editing videos. Proto-1 suddenly went to the PC and shouted that the OTKR folder was gone, along with the images of beautiful anime girls with revealing clothes. Ryoji was embarrassed. He forgot to delete Proto-1's memories. A few hours later, Ryoji decided to go to the Ueno Park dungeon and start filming. He asked Proto-1 to learn video editing and apologized for erasing its memories. Before he leaves, he asked Proto-1 if there were any questions. Proto-1 remembered that Ryoji wanted to meet his parents, so Proto-1 asked if he already met them. Ryoji remembered his parents' deaths. His eyes darkened and was filled with killing intent. He replied that he already met them, and Proto-1 replied back that it was good to hear. Ryoji felt the sadness of losing his parents again. So Proto-1 asked why doesn't Ryoji look happy. But Ryoji only replied that he doesn't want to talk about this for a while, and Proto-1 agreed. At Ueno Park Dungeon, Ryoji prepared to his dungeon diving. A lot of adventurers use this dungeon as their main hunting location. Ryoji already filmed a walkthrough until the 4th floor, but he decided that it would be better to film until the 20th floor. He is currently in the 5th floor, and since he is already getting used in filming, he decided to quickly finish it. He is fighting against wasp monsters. He thought that it's not that hard to defeat them, but he needs to find out the best way to hunt these monsters without reducing the material's value. After finding out their weakness was their joints, he used Wind Cutter on all 6 of them to kill them instantly. And since the monsters are gone, he can proceed with the map explanation of the 5th floor. He then wondered if Proto 1 is capable of learning video editing properly. Proto was the first robot he created in the other world. Generally, every time a craftsman improves their golem skill, they destroy the old golem to create a new one. Since Ryuji had some Japanese mech obsession, he kept improving Proto 1. Proto 1's early iteration had some semblance of Japanese anime mechs. But because of that, Proto 1 became more human-like, not just a powerful robot. In the other world, Ryoji left the chores to Proto, and he has been living with Proto for a long time, so Ryoji felt some sort of attachment. The reason he woke up Proto was to help him with video editing, but that's not all the reason. Ever since his parents died, he felt alone, and Proto, even though a robot, is like a family to him. And Ryoji doesn't want to be alone in this world. A few hours later, Ryoji went back home. He asked Proto about the video editing. Proto replied back saying that the 18 videos were done and wants Ryoji to take a look. Ryoji was surprised that Proto finished 18 videos, since one video is at least 15 minutes, and editing 4 videos will take up to 2 hours. Proto requested for a PC for video editing, and Ryoji replied saying that if the video makes money, then he will buy a PC. Ryoji watched the videos and noticed that there were some clumsy scenes left, so he asked Proto about it. Proto replied saying that the editing was intentional because seeing mistakes makes the video more human. Ryoji complained that it was fine, but he also wanted some of his cool parts to be in the video. Proto replied as if making fun of him. With Proto back, Ryoji doesn't feel alone. Time passed by, and the day of the entrance exam of the Adventurer High School came. Ryoji went to Kayoko's house so they could take the exam together. Kayoko's mom replied that Kayoko already left early. Ryoji replied back saying, "Is that so?" So, Kayoko's mom asked if they fought with each other since she thought that they were going together. Ryoji left since Kayoko already left for the exam, and Kayoko's mom cheered for him on the exam. At the Adventurer High School, the students were taking entrance exams. At first, Ryoji wasn't excited about the Adventurer High School, but when he heard that the time spent inside the dungeon would be considered school time, he suddenly got motivated. And since his intelligence is high, passing the exam wouldn't be an issue. After the exam, Kayoko and Ito are having a conversation. Ito told Kayoko not to be too friendly with Ryoji, and Kayoko asked why. Ito explained that if Ryoji asked to join their physical test, it will be difficult to say no. Ryoji doesn't have a job class, so he wouldn't contribute to the test, and their lives would be at stake if Ryoji slows them down. Kayoko was distraught, but she agreed with Ito's concerns. Little did they know, Ryoji can hear them, even though they're whispering. Ryoji thought that even though they haven't entered the dungeon, they were already discriminating about job class. He shrugged it off and focused on his palm. It was strange that his level doesn't show correctly. He figured that it would be too troublesome to explain. Kayoko noticed Ryoji and asked him about the exam, and Ryoji gestured that he did great, but Ito suddenly stopped Kayoko from talking with Ryoji. So, Kayoko was forced to bid farewell to Ryoji, making an excuse that she will check out the school with Ito. Ryoji thought that he would check out the school as well, since it would be great to find a place to teleport before the school starts. A month passed by and their graduation came. Yamada and Ryoji bid their farewells. Yamada told him that their friendship will last forever. The current law prohibits entry until they graduate middle school. This also meant that people will start delving into the dungeon after graduating. Ryoji thought that Kayoko will definitely go to the dungeon with Ito, and Ryoji doesn't want his childhood friend to die because of the false dungeon information. He waited for the clock to hit midnight, and when clock hit midnight, he told Proto to set the videos to public. Proto complied, signaling that the Dungeon Exploration Information channel is now live. And this marks the end of Chapter 6.
Like and subscribe, and click the bell icon so you can be notified for future updates. For other videos like this, click here. Thanks for watching.